Hello and welcome back from me, Admiral. Joining me back on Star Trek Fleet Command as always. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the research trees, what to focus up to level 35, what you should pretty much have by level 35, which I might not have, but looking back, I should have focused on them because they are useful. And then what things you can sort of take your time on a little bit more, as they're not hugely game breaking or they don't really allow you to, you don't really need them by level 35 to of such a high level. Thank you to all the new subscribers. As always, don't forget to keep hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and let's jump in. So we'll start off with we'll go to combat, since that's the first one on the tree. So as you should be aware, by the time you get to level 35 and even obviously beyond, you should have all these first ones definitely 1000% completed, and they should all be pretty much maxed. There should be no real excuses not to have all of these maxed by this time. And then, so you should have everything maxed up to grade 3 ships. And then you go on to the, obviously, the actual specific categories of ships. So you've got interceptors, you've got explorers, and then you've got battleships themselves. Obviously, you've got the primes as well. If you do want to get the primes, I will do a separate video on the primes and how to acquire the primes for free. If you don't want to buy them, obviously, in the store, you can get them for free. I will let you know on a separate video if that's what you want. If it is, please let me know in the comments down below. So going on to the actual research themselves, it's a bit tricky because it depends what category, obviously, of ship you can end up going down in terms of what faction you go for. Obviously, if you're going for Klingon, you're probably going to want to go into Interceptor. If you're going for pretty much Federation, you're going to go Explorer. If you're going to go Romulan, you're going to go for Battleship for your level 34 ships. So depends what category you're going down. Me personally, I obviously went Romulan, so I started, I pretty much got the Battleship one as high as I could go. As you can see, I've maxed out my shields. To be honest, this is something that you can definitely do by this level. Hull is something else, depending on the resources obviously available to you, but hull is something that you should be getting maxed out as well. The bonuses are pretty decent. They're not amazing, but they're okay. 140% when you get maxed. And then you got the other research. The other research, to be honest, is not, again, game breaking, but this is all research that you definitely need to get done or should get done. No questions asked, really. The only downside of this research is you need to do the research prior to it. So, for example, as you can see here, you need Intercept to hit level 8. So this one here needs to be up to level 8 minimum, just so that you can get the Battleship one up. So, in technically speaking, if you are going to go for Battleship, you need to get these up anyway. So you may as well just work your way up. The only problem is, obviously, is the cost of these research. Unless it's free in terms of materials, you're just using the actual resources themselves. But yeah, this is something that you can definitely get done by level 34 or 5 or in your 30s. I'll just say in the 30s is something that you definitely can get done. And then moving on, you got your different focuses on terms of, you should have this one. Don't worry about maxing this one out. This is not going to break the game. I only have it to level 1, and to be honest, it's completely, you don't really need it that high, if I'm honest. Obviously, it helps with base raiding, but it's not sort of needed as such. And then you got your different factions. So you got your Romulan, Klingon, and Federation weak points, depending on who, again, you're going to be going for. So, for example, I'm going to go for Romulan faction. Federation weak points is something that you can acquire. Again, it's not something that you definitely need. It's not a huge bonus, and it does cost quite a lot. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially not when you get your level 34 ships, because they can hit way above their own levels. So I wouldn't worry about it too much with these, if I'm honest. And then you go on to the actual specific trees themselves, depending on, again, the faction you want to go for. So Romulan, again, try and get this one as high as you can. It's actually not that expensive. It just adds more armor. You don't need to get it maxed out, and it's not a priority, but it is. It's okay. It gives you increased armor for Romulan ships, and it's not too expensive. Going on to then the fortitude, this is hull health, which increases for Romulan ships. Again, this is not really necessary, to be honest. The one that is good, but you can't get until you get 4-star materials, it would definitely go for weapon damage to be increased for all Romulan ships. That is a good one to get. Again, you're not going to get it maxed out though, so don't worry about it too much. Same goes for the other ones, factions as well, depending on the ships you're going for. Don't worry about maxing them, but try and get them relatively high at this stage of the game. So moving on to station. Once again, it's going to be a similar scenario. All the first researchers, other than construction speed, should be pretty much maxed out by now. Construction speed, to be honest, probably should be maxed out as well, providing you can be bothered doing the accelerators. If you haven't got, basically, if you have the time to do them, then I would recommend doing them just so that you can get your construction speed maxed out, because then this increases the speed of buildings. And once you get it maxed out to level 15, it's an 125% increase, which is not too bad. Certainly when most of the research or construction costs these days are within, for me personally, are anywhere between probably 6 to maybe 40 odd days, depending on obviously what it is. For like the ops building, for example, stuff like that, or something on the lines of them. But yeah, everything else should be maxed out. Research optimized, then this is a good one to go for as well. It's just pretty costly overall in terms of your crystal, so just be wary of that. And to be honest, you get quite a lot of power steel and dill anyway, and trit anyway overall. And it doesn't cost too much power steel and stuff on the research. It does cost dill, but this one is not something that you need to get maxed out straight away, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then moving along, all maxed out definitely up to then this level here. And then you got your second primes. As you can see, I don't have them. Again, you can get these for free if you have the required ships. Again, let me know in the comments whether you want a video on how to attain primes for free. And then it's whether you value this then research tree to whether you keep going. Something that is definitely important to get to the highest level possible is definitely your tier up boost. This allows you to obviously speed up the time it takes your ships to tier up in between each level, essentially, or tier, should I say, more than it? Pretty much, yeah, tier up in between each tier. This is really useful. It just allows you to obviously spend less time tiering up, and allows you to spend less potential gold or speed ups on having to obviously put it towards the speed of that ship. And then again, everything else is just, to be honest, you just want to get it at least a couple of levels in them. They're not hugely, I wouldn't personally focus on them too much, certainly this category here, because it's kind of pointless. They don't help at all with in terms of the accelerators and stuff within your base. They are pretty crap, if I'm honest. And then you go to the actual end research itself, and again, this is all good stuff. This is the stuff that you want to try and invest in if you have the materials to do so. So this increases the cost efficiency of trit and dill on Romulan ships, for example, on the components. So that's really, really useful because they cost a fortune. It's a shame that it's trit and dill. So trit is an obvious one because you want to reduce the amount of trit overall because it costs a fortune. And then going on to repair cost, again, incredibly useful to have the repair costs reduced overall. I need to start working on some of these majorly. So I will be doing these in the coming weeks, and they don't take too long to do. I mean, this one takes 22 days, but that was 12 days, so it's quite lengthy, that one. But overall, I think having that extra 7% on top will be quite substantial. And then you got Romulan repair speed. Again, very costly research, but they increased by 6% each one, and I personally think these are going to be incredibly useful as well. So moving on to the Galaxy tree, probably one of the most important trees, if not, I would say the most important tree within the game at the moment, just the way that the game goes. Things that you should get maxed as soon as you can, or certainly to the highest capable level that they can be, is definitely your miners, because they're going to help you literally throughout every single aspect of this game. And then warp technology is, again, something else that you should focus on, because it means that you're traveling around the galaxy much faster rate than you were before. So again, something else that you can definitely focus on. With the warp technology, obviously, bear in mind you're going to need your survey repairs. Again, this is always good in case people hit you and stuff like that. It reduces the cost of your survey ships, and obviously reduces the repair costs as well. So yeah, it's not too bad. It reduces repair time and repair costs, so it's pretty decent. And as you see, I've got mine pretty much up there to be in nearly level 10 maxed out. I'm just waiting for the warp to get to level 9, and then I can do them. And then we'll be focusing more on the actual miners themselves, again, getting them up to a higher level, because again, they help out with every single aspect of this game. The bottom miners, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just get them to the level that they need to be to basically do the top ones. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about them too much, because you're not going to be mining that at all, pretty much. Data miner, you can get a couple of levels into this, but BBs generally mine pretty damn fast anyway. So it's up to you whether you want to get levels into this. I stopped at 5 because you need to do -7, and I don't need anything for trait -7 at the moment for the top ones. So I'm not going to bother investing any more into that one. Again, that's just my personal opinion. And then same with goes to the hunters. Just stop when you don't need to go anymore, essentially. And then defense platform, it gives you a flat bonus, but it's arguably not worth it. These two, definitely. Survey security, yeah, get it maxed out, 100%. Them two, definitely as well. And then just get what you can here. Survey warp, again, we're going to be getting that upgraded as well, because obviously you're going to be using survey ships the entire, doesn't matter what level you are in the game, you're going to be using survey ships. So the faster that they can go, the better to get to the systems that they need to go to. Again, with these ones in the middle, focus on whatever ships that you're using. I focused on these two because I had the Saladin and I have obviously the Augur. So I focused on them two personally, but you don't have, obviously focus whichever ships that you actually need to unlock the next stage. If you have a Franklin and if you have a Brain, then I would definitely recommend maxing every single one of these swarm parts, should I say. So get these all maxed out as high as your ops level. As you can see, this one requires ops level 38. I am not ops level 38, I'm only ops level 37. So get these as maxed to the highest capable level that you can as soon as you can get it, because they do actually make a hell of a difference when it comes to hitting swarms. If you're not already hitting swarms, get a Franklin, go and hit swarms. If you haven't got a Franklin, go and hit swarms. Find a ship that can hit at least some swarms and go and hit them. Start collecting them, because you will need them. They are very useful. And I will show you why later, that they are incredibly useful. Again, just focus on which ship you're going to go for. Mine's battleships, so I focused on battleships, for example. Again, just increases the cost efficiency of pot and for components. Just makes it a bit cheaper when it comes to using your gold when upgrading components on your ship. And then you've got hull durability and shield durability. These are okay, to be fair. They're not too bad, but they are pricey, so just do them as and when. To be honest, they're not amazing, so you don't need to really focus on them. If you have a Franklin, this is a no-brainer research. Get it maxed out as soon as you can. And if you have a Vidar, this one is a absolute must-have. This one is a must-have. Increase the amount of nanoprobes you get from killing Borg probes with the Vidar. If you have a Vidar, get this research, no questions asked. Get it maxed out as soon as you can. You can get it maxed out without doing any previous research. So get this maxed out as soon as you can, or to the highest ops level that you can do it to. And then same goes for the frequency modulators as well. Get this maxed out to the highest level, which I believe is 5. Yeah. So get that to 5 and get that to 10 as soon as possible. Literally no questions asked, really, I would say, with that one. Franklin impulse speed, this one just helps with the speed. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but these two are the main ones that you definitely 1000% need. This is going to be a 2-part video, just because the research trees, this one I'm going to be talking about quite extensively. The Latinum miners, don't waste your money, don't waste your time. It's not really worth it, if I'm honest. I don't personally do any Latinum mining. I mean, you can to get the free, obviously you can get the free lat from them and stuff like that, but to be honest, it's not really worth it, in my opinion. If you have another opinion, please let me know down in the comments down below. And then you got the different sort of loss to gain ratios, increased loss to gain points, This is a weird one because you do gain points anyway from hitting obviously survey ships and stuff like that. And to be honest, I wouldn't really invest too much into these because you don't really need them that high. Because just go and hit survey ships, go and hit whatever survey ships you're trying to grind for. So Romulan rep or whatever it is. And to be honest, as long as you hit enough of them, you'll get there eventually anyway, in no time really. So I wouldn't worry about these too much, if I'm honest. Advanced training is incredibly good, just incredibly costly. So again, I'll leave this one's down to yourselves to do it whenever you feel like you have the spare resources to put towards it. I personally don't. As you can see, no crystals, so definitely don't have that. If you have a discovery, get these maxed out as soon as you can, because it means once you get these two maxed out, these two abilities there, you can then do the USS Discovery summoning ability, and the summoning ability is an absolute game changer. So definitely get these two maxed out as soon as possible. It's quite hard to get them maxed out, and it does take quite a long time. It took me forever, but once they're maxed out, you can get the summoning ability, and it's definitely worth it. I did it completely free to play, so it is definitely doable. So just bear that in mind. And then pure ore, these are researches that are very easy to obtain. I would recommend just getting a couple of levels into them, increase the cost efficiency of ore for the components. These are definitely worth getting. It's not a huge increase, but it's definitely worth getting. But I wouldn't worry about over-maxing them in terms of their levels, so I wouldn't worry about too much. Base critical resistance, again, another one I wouldn't worry about too much. These ones, just get them to whatever level you need to unlock the next stuff. Explorer warp, then you're going into the realm of you need higher ops levels for this type of stuff, or warp technology 10. So this is something that once my warp technology is done, I will be increasing my battleship warp speed overall. And then again, it just means you can travel around the galaxy at much faster rates, and it's just very, very beneficial. Defense training and attack training, these need advanced training, which is this one, up to level 6. Again, incredibly useful, but I wouldn't worry about it too much because it's just pretty costly, and then you just get the normal end stuff, which you can't really do. So you put one into that, and then I can't even do this one because it's R&D level 40 anyway. And then we got the new stealth stuff, which I'm not really going to talk about because I don't really know too much about them as of the moment. Other than the fact that obviously you can get stealth ship and you need special resources to do them stealth stuff. I don't have the auger with stealth on it at the moment, so it's kind of pointless for me to talk about. And then the end research is again faction specific. These are very similar to the other ones, so plus or minus Romulan points. Kit, again, don't worry about it too much. The mining one, definitely go for. Try and get this up as high as you can, because the ore mining speed, again, you're going to be using the entire length of the game, so I wouldn't. This one is useful. And then pure ore, again, it's quite cheap. It's not too bad. The materials are quite expensive, like 4.4 million dil is quite expensive. But in terms of the actual materials themselves, it's pretty cheap overall. And then this improves the cost efficiency of the ore for Romulan components, which again might help you when it comes to spending your latinum when you're leveling your ship up, something like that. And then they're exactly the same for the other factions, but obviously gas and crystal mining there. So that's going to be the end of this episode. The next episode, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about away teams, out teams, outlaws, and territories themselves. Going quickly to show you, what was I going to show you? What was it? Try and find. What was it? Was it in here? And I said I'd go to it. I cannot remember. Well, if I remember, I'll let you know in the next video. Hopefully this video has been useful. Please let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts and opinions are in terms of the research, and whether you think you agree with me or you disagree with me. Other than that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.